From the success of Boracay Rehabilitation in 2018 and Manila Bay Rehabilitation in 2019, the Philippine government once again opened a new tourist spot that succumbed to environmental degradation. The overly polluted river system in Metro Manila, that was once tagged as the country's most polluted water system in the 1990s. The Pasig River Rehabilitation reached a new level of success story, from reviving its biological life in its network of creeks and rivers, and winning the 2018 Asian RiverPrize award, to becoming the newest tourist spot in the metro. The rehabilitation of the Pasig River may finally be realized under the administration after many similar efforts in the past. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. promised his administration's urban project to revitalize Pasig River would be a people-centered and community-driven development. Marcos made the statement as he led the inauguration of the 500-meter showcase area of the Pasig River Urban Development Project in Binondo, Manila, behind the gutted Manila Central Post Office. The newly constructed segment will serve as a public park consisting of a pedestrian-friendly walkway on a concrete platform equipped with a water fountain accented by lighting, and sitting areas which can also serve as an open-air venue for events. The project follows Marcos' Executive Order No. 35 issued in July 2023 creating an interagency council that facilitates the rehabilitation of the Pasig riverbanks and water system. The Philippine government, through the Department of Housing and Urban Development, is eyeing to build a 50-kilometer promenade spanning both sides of the Pasig River in 3 years, funded through public-private partnership. The total cost for the construction of the promenade is pegged at around 18 billion pesos. Recreational and wellness amenities such as public parks and jogging and bike paths will also be constructed in key areas along the 27-kilometer stretch of the river, which traverses 11 cities in the metropolis. The area will become a permanent exhibit area of green technology that works from solar lights to rain harvesting facilities, sustainable practices like urban gardens. This will also want to maximize the ready-to-use maritime highway by deploying more ferry boats and stations. The Pasig River system is a strategic and environmentally endangered waterway, winding through the most densely populated areas in the country's national capital region. The river links Manila Bay in the west with Laguna Lake in the east. Throughout history, the river was used as a major source of transportation, water, food, and livelihood for many Manila residents. The river was such an important part of the country that many houses were built alongside its shores. The Malacañang Palace, the official residence of the President of the Philippines, is located alongside the river. Deterioration of the Pasig River became noticeable as far back as the 1930s. During that period, fish migration from Laguna Lake began to diminish. In the 1950s, there was a drop in bathing activities in the Pasig. In the 1960s, people no longer used the river for washing clothes. Ferry boat transport also began to decline. By the 1970s, the river began to give off an offensive smell, especially during the dry season. In the early 1980s, all fishing activity within the river system was no longer possible. By the early 1990s, the Pasig River was generally considered biologically inactive. Health authorities found its coliform content to be extraordinarily high, making the river a vector for disease. Entire stretches of the water had acquired a dark, murky color. Huge islands of floating garbage encrusted the water surface in many parts of the river system. Sunken boats and abandoned barges made navigation not only difficult but hazardous. Along with factories, commercial establishments and houses, colonies of makeshift shanties lined long stretches of the riverbank, as well as major creeks and esteros. Flooding in many areas along the river also became more frequent. However, the Philippines' 27-kilometer Pasig River, and its vanishing networks of creeks and rivers, tell a captivating story of a river system that refuses to die. After years of uncontrolled urbanization and heavy industrialization on its riverbanks, the Pasig River lost its importance as a vital waterway and has become the subject of many efforts for rehabilitation and preservation. When it was declared biologically dead in the 1990s, several river restoration initiatives began as early as the 1970s, but no visible result has been delivered. In 1999, the government created the Pasig River Rehabilitation Commission to spearhead and harmonize the multifaceted and comprehensive rehabilitation of the Pasig River through collaboration with its stakeholders. The Urban River Management for Pasig River will expand its restoration effort by creating the comprehensive Pasig River Urban Development Project. To become more spatially coherent, to accommodate multi-scale solutions and to ensure land-based development performance is at par with environmental quality requisites. Now with the strategic implementation of the Pasig River Development Master Plan, the projects aim not just to restore the Pasig River from its former glory and maintain the desired status, but also to enhance the economic activity along its riverbank by promoting business developments and boosting tourism activities. Pasig River's transcendent clarity is the source of Metro Manila's vitality, an abundant and vigorous waterfront space that merges the city in the water, becoming a public living room of the national capital region. By focusing on the overall development of the city as well as the unified planning of the multi-field construction, it will build up comprehensive functional green corridors of a high standard and create Manila's new spatial pattern. Pasig River Environmental Renovation and Comprehensive Development, which includes the comprehensive improvement of the water system, the development of the water traffic, and the development of transportation systems along the river. The planning and development on both sides of the Pasig River will start with the dredging of the river, creating a waterfront economic zone combined with tourism, which has a complete industrial chain, a rich spatial dimension, as well as multiple land use functions. Meanwhile, the value of the commercial land along the waterfront and the value of the commercial leisure experience will both be enhanced, so that the waterfront space and the surrounding functional area can implement cross-border interactions. Combined with the regional features, the large fountain and waterscape design will create a rich and open array of landscapes, providing space for wandering, communication, relaxation and thinking. In addition, the intervening trails and small venues will create ecological wetlands and green barriers. Pasig River Water Traffic Development. Dredge the river channel and the waterway to remove the internal garbage. Increase the water depth and broaden the waterway to improve the capacity of the channel. Increase the yacht stations to enhance the convenience of transportation. Construct bridges with large spans and high headroom, combined with urban water and land transportation planning, to form an integrated, three-dimensional urban transportation network. The railroad and expressway system. The planning and construction of rail transit will adhere to the concepts of high-tech and smart cities. The rail line will be parallel with the river, forming a sightseeing route along the river bank. To achieve the integration of the landscape in the city, promoting the city's overall development. Its western section will connect both sides of the Pasig River, while its eastern section will join the planned highway, forming an extensive transport system, which will provide convenience for the city's east to west development. Other success story of Philippines environmental rehabilitation. Boracay Island is located 310 kilometers south of Manila, one of the world-famous tourist destinations, known for its powdery and fine white sand, and crystal-clear bluish water. However, due to uncontrolled commercial tourism-related activities, the island deteriorates due to pollution, and was declared a cesspool by the President, directing its agencies to clean and rehabilitate Boracay Island.
Boracay is a cesspool. It is destroying the environment of the Republic of the Philippines and creating a disaster coming.
In April 2018, the Philippine government announced that the island would be closed to tourists for 6 months, as a cleanup and rehabilitation drive was spearheaded. The rehabilitation was started with the demolition of illegal structures on the coast of the island, road clearing and widening, and excavation of buried pipes. As part of the recovery and rehabilitation of the wetlands, demolition of illegal structures was also initiated. Daily water monitoring was conducted, as a vital part of the rehabilitation efforts, to ensure that the quality of water was within the water quality standards. Now, all resorts and commercial establishments require sewerage treatment plants. After 6 months of comprehensive cleanup and rehabilitation, the island was reopened for tourism. With a very strict island carrying capacity, with only 19,215 tourists per day. Tourists are now can enjoy cleaner and safer Boracay. After the success in Boracay, the government has yet to face the biggest challenge: the rehabilitation of Manila Bay. After a decade of government intervention since the issuance of mandamus, deterioration of the bay's water quality continued, along with the degradation of the bay. The Philippine government ordered its concerning agencies to clean up Manila Bay.
Kaya sabi ko kay Roy Simato, pati si Jan Anyo, you start cleaning the Manila Bay. And it will be, they will start to clean it. Whether they like it or not.
In January 2019, the government led the launch of the Battle for Manila Bay, giving the green light to its comprehensive rehabilitation effort for the 190-kilometer coastline. Participated by over 10,000 participants from different sectors of the society. In preparation for the massive cleanup, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources conducted dialogue with the local chief executives, believing that local government would be the frontliners in cleaning up esteros and creeks. In March 2019, the Battle for Rivers and Esteros was launched, with over 16,000 people participating in the cleanup drives. Aside from a continuous cleanup drive, regular quality water monitoring in 18 river mouths and outfalls, and 31 bathing beaches in the National Capital Region, Region 3 and Region 4A is being conducted. As an initial result of the Manila Bay Rehabilitation Drive, coliform levels in several areas significantly decrease, prompting DENR to declare these areas swimmable after a few months of the cleanup efforts. Works were continued across the Bay Area, with the participation of the community, and local and national government. DENR also launched steamers in Pasig River and ordered the removal of barges in the river. The most visible achievement of the project is the Manila Bay White Sand Project. These are part of the wider government plan to rehabilitate the city's heavily polluted harbor. It is far different from the previous states of the bay back years ago. Years of neglect resulted in the mix of oil and waste from nearby ports and industrial and residential areas. The government is eyeing to establish Manila Bay's so-called Dolomite Beach as a tourist spot. Its objective is to revive the businesses along Rojas Boulevard. The support of the public on the project has been overwhelming. In 2020, the government put an overlay of artificial white sand on a part of the bay's naturally gray shoreline. That is now being maintained to retain its white sand look and cleanliness in the area. These are the Philippines' environmental rehabilitation programs: Pasig River, Boracay Island and Manila Bay. What are your reactions to these programs? Share your thoughts in the comment section below.